I haven't grabbed the square one. I haven't grabbed it in a while.
Yeah.
Or I think there's more than one square one.
Well, since you're grabbing square.
Well, that's
I feel
better
like
than
that's
grabbing
like
a tubing.
I feel like that's like a new term.
How would you like to? Oh, we got to talk about that.
Talk about what?
Oh, the new deal on tubing.
There's a new thing?
Well, what's emerge?
There's more? Oh, are we going to cover that?
Yes.
Cool. I really want to. So you grabbed, I don't know what it is, but it came with a cute, I know it's so old. It came with a cute mirror though, so you can like kind of see if it wasn't so old. What you're doing, but I wanted to pull up my picture.
Of that.
Really quick, National Day since we're doing that. National Hagfish Day.
Hagfish. I thought you were going to stop with the hag. National Hag Day would definitely be interesting.
I know, but what is a hagfish? Is it like a hag?
I don't know. That's
fish?
a new one on me.
Really quick, we got. No, it doesn't like me.
Of that.
There we go. Hey.
Oh, what?
I thought you wanted to do that.
No, I wanted to do it. Well, I can do it on the regular show. I wanted to do it on the regular.
And you took my other one. I don't know where it went.
Yes. No, it's still there. You see, yours is there.
Go back to it.
Oh,
We're
you
gonna
want
read
to?
it right now.
Oh, we can do yours. Yes.
Okay, you see people driving alone with their mask in the car. Wonder if they lay in bed alone wearing condoms. It is a legit question.
Roll that back up.
It's legit.
No, it should be or on Zoom doing a tubing.
No, mine. No, don't try to switch it. Mine was better. Can I close this?
Yeah.
All right. We're eventually gonna pile it up. We're gonna get us out of this mess. Save me. All right, you ready?
Ready.
We're going on Facebook
And Twitch.
and Twitch.
That funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday live at 5 on Twitch, i.e. NEwswire on Facebook, and
On YouTube, make sure you go and hit that like and subscribe button and share us to your world.
Wow.
And join our Instagram page too.
There you go. Of
We
that.
got some good funny memes on there that we like to share every once in a while.
Yes, on that. And well, since you mentioned that.
Do you want it on?
Yes.
You ready for it?
Yes.
All right.
This
Spot
is
on.
Edgemont, Sunnymead, Merino, and probably most of America circa 60s and the 70s. And yes, this is how we rolled before the Sissy Nation movement. Pull that back up, please. I love that. I mean, that's clear. I don't know how many thousands of these we built out like that or jumped off of hills or whatever on that. That was like a daily occurrence of that. I mean, the old used tires, the bricks, the 4x4s, probably old doors that are sitting there that makes the ramp going up. I mean, this is classic. And this is what I do. Again, I hardly... Do you ever see... I mean, just traveling around, you would see that all the time. I don't ever see anything like this, kids doing anything remotely close to this.
A little bit. I saw a bunch of kids riding dirt bikes up the street earlier. I don't know where they were going. But they were doing something.
Yes, it's about time.
But I think that now there's a lot. I mean, okay, back when you used to do this and dinosaurs were roaming, I mean, wasn't there a lot more land? No, I'm just kidding. But really, wasn't there a lot more land and open fields where you can do that? I feel like if there was a group of kids that were going to go to an open land area and start building ramps and bring out stuff, like you were saying, doors and things, they would get in trouble.
Yes, there'd be parents out there having a freaking heart attack.
No. I think the city would have an issue with that, not parents.
Well, they can't unless there's a no trespassing deal, which we can thank for the homeless.
But I feel like that's everywhere, though.
But yeah, get back to this. Roll up number 4 again, please. Okay. Or if some kid got hurt today on that, I can almost guarantee you, parents would be suing
Everything.
everything. But back in the day, if you hurt yourself doing that, your parents would look at you and say, now you learned a lesson in doing stupid. Are you going to do that again? If you broke your arm or whatever on that, that wasn't, they would explain to you all the stupid things or the things you did wrong instead of looking to sue the property owner, probably the city, probably Warren Buffett or who knows, they would go on there. Yeah, I don't know why this thing's doing the automatic thing of.
It's doing my job for me.
We've had some pretty
Yeah.
Here,
things have been. Check this out.
Yes. Well, see, now it's gonna work because you hit.
Oh,
there it goes. Yes, we've had one camera that's flashing on and off, and the video switcher just decides on its own
when it's going to switch back. I'm so glad I stopped picking my nose.
Well, and it does it. It's done it to me like when I've been doing a Trump thing or something, and I'm sitting here without my shirt on, and then it just switches to the camera, going on there. Yes. And people are writing, why is he doing this in the nude?
Mary Lou writes in that her kids ride dirt bikes and the neighbors call the cops on her.
Well, there you go. People, again.
Let people have a little. I mean, if they're destroying your property or being like loud and obnoxious, okay.
Yes.
But it's sad that the day has came where kids running around outside and building ramps and stuff is a nuisance.
Number 4, please.
Okay.
When did the sissy movement start?
We're going back to that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's what you're talking about. It's not. It's kind of like
what it's not so much the kids; it's the parents.
Yes.
But you know what I think it is, though. Parents got used to the universal babysitter. Here you go. Go watch YouTube for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The kids now don't know what it's like to go. A lot of kids wouldn't even know what to do with a shovel. You hand them a shovel and they think it's like a giant spoon. I'm telling you.
How do you get this in your mouth?
My kids would be like, "Where's the cereal at?"
Yeah. How are you supposed to get the cereal out of the bowl with this? Again, I mean, I guess it goes back to the moms and the minivans and the helicopter
Wow.
the helicopter
Wow.
parents of trying to protect the kids from every like,
you got to say, and I'm even going to say I'm a lot better than I used to be.
Yes.
I used to be
Yes, you were a big Huey for.
But my kids were younger. My 5-year-old, I'm going to watch more than my 10-year-old, even though I know my 10-year-old is going to be doing dumb crap. But I mean,
no, you're much better at not being just like constantly worried. Oh, what are they doing? If they're out of your sight for 2 seconds, or what are they doing? Blah 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 blah. But I think that culture, I guess, started, I think, probably in maybe the late 90s, 2000s. And it's gotten us to the point where if Governor Hairgel, oh, he's so cute. Oh, he said to wear masks. We must wear masks. And I think that whole, I think that's why you see like the meme you put up there, and you'll have to go to YouTube. But the ding-dongs, that amazes me. The ding-dongs that are sitting in their car by themselves with the windows rolled up and air conditioning on, they have a mask on. Now,
but in the defense of my father, and I did this the other day too, once you have it on, like when we go to the hospital and visit my mom, we have to wear the mask the entire time. So when you leave, you're kind of used to just having it on. He's been caught wearing his mask home, I think, a time or two. You do get used to it, but sometimes I'll see like
that's because you're conforming.
But
we don't want to conform.
I'll see one. That's why stuff is broken around here. Stop. I'll see like one person in the car wearing the mask, and like the 8 other people that are crammed in there aren't wearing one. It's like, why is Timmy or John wearing one, but nobody else is?
Because they have bought into the sissy movement of this, and again, even of that, even if I have to like fake it or whatever to get into a building or something, I cannot wait to get that stupid thing off. It's absolutely. And you cannot tell.
It's not that bad.
You cannot tell me. I can tell the temperature of the air I'm breathing in is like significantly
it's the worst when you burp
warming.
Like, damn it.
And all the stuff of that. if Mother Nature, God, or whatever the hell you believe in, wanted us to wear masks, we'd have been born with freaking masks. We were not born with masks. We were not made to do this, and ultimately it's going to affect our hours on Earth. Our survival median age of doing this stuff is going to go down if we keep going on stupid. Like the deal with Gally the mortician, but come out there. Theme parks can only up if they get into the neon yellow, as I'm wearing today, on that. Mind you, Gavin Newsom has no green. But you got to get to the yellow, and Orange County is in the red, so they got to jump from the red to the orange to the yellow just to open up, I think, at 25%.
Wow.
I mean,
25%.
Yes.
That's like 3 people. I'm just kidding.
Thank you. You remembered.
I did. Wow, my memory's coming back.
That probably because you're not wearing a mask 24/7 or sitting in your car by yourself with a stupid mask on.
I'm just gonna paint one on there. It's gonna be fake, but I'm gonna get really good at makeup.
That's a hell of an idea.
Right?
Fake them out.
Yeah, it's a mask. Take it off. I can't.
Yeah, you didn't say what type of mask it is, and to wear the bandana, as Dr. Kaiser, our Riverside County health official, does. That's almost like 98.7% ineffective.
Really?
Yes, we've ran the studies on it. They did that. The bandana is almost useless. The fleece, if it's actually made of fleece material, it actually makes it worse. The N95s are the best if you're trying to prevent that. But I can tell you this: I know one person who works in the medical field of that, and of that, and had the mask on all the time, got the Rona.
Yep.
So it's a bunch of BS. You're not defeated. You're going to make this stuff worse. We are not the Chi-Coms. We weren't. We're becoming the Chi-Coms. We're becoming the sissy movement.
Chi-Com?
Chinese communists.
Oh. Thank you. Sorry. Sometimes I get your
So,
lingo.
I'm adding to your vernacular of speech there. So, instead of saying Chinese communists, you just say Chi-Com.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be saying that.
Yes.
I'm going to make it stick right now, so I remember.
There you go. But no, that's what we're becoming. We're becoming the sissy movement. Oh, Gavin Newsom said to do this. I can't go against Gavin Newsom.
I can't stand that voice. Did you feel the stare?
Yes.
Good.
I could feel the heat already over here. But no, it is conforming, and this is a segue into our next. This was starting to break yesterday, that the Trump administration is suing finally. I've been calling for this on the Facebook stuff. That we've had Tom Del Beccaro on. He's a Harvard-educated attorney. He said, yeah, because I said Facebook built this thing on a lie. They said they would never sell your information. Then they admitted that they sold your information. You're on it. That. So, and consequently, in a free market, if they had said that or whatever, you should be able to sue the pants off of them of that. And you still should be able to and bust a monopoly. They built it on an illegal contract they had with you to not sell, saying we will never sell this will always be free, which it's not, and nothing is, but we will never charge you for using Facebook, but we will never sell your information. And as you said, they went right out and sold your information when they thought they could make billions and gazillions of dollars off of it. So they should be busted up under and dissolved under the Sherman Antitrust Act or convicted. Zuckerberg should be in jail for the rest of his frickin' life over this. Yes.
That's a little harsh.
No, it isn't.
But I feel like if you sign up,
2 billion people who were lied to, and then you went and profited off of them and not give them a dime.
Oh yeah, he should go to jail for
Thank you.
for 10 years.
Life. In
but
my world.
I feel like if you sign up for any media platform, you're out there no
This
matter
is
what.
this is why you don't want a dictator, because if Roy was dictator king, he'd have walked Mark Zuckerberg right over to the guillotine and pulled the handle himself and said, "Watch your head rolling around."
And I would have said, "It's okay, we forgive you."
Yeah. That's the worst way, or probably the worst punishment or the worst way to execute somebody, because your brain still, even after your head's chopped off, your brain still works for like 2 or 3 or 4 minutes.
Why the hell do you know that?
Well, because I don't know. No, it is
Legitimately scared
because
of
your brain and stuff is still, it doesn't cut off the circuits, so your brain still thinks, well, yeah, my hand, why ain't my hand moving? Well, because your head's chopped off.
Can you still move your hand though?
No, because you're disconnected, because the circuits. The electrical circuits from your brain down to your body are all gone. But your brain is still working for about 2 or 3 or 4 minutes after they cut your head off. And it thinks, yeah, I can move my hand. Or, yeah, well, why?
Anybody watching, if I go missing later, can look into that a little bit. I'll be able to move my hand.
But we'll do that. So back to the on topic of that.
Yeah, that'd be great. The hell? As we titled the show Weapons Wednesday. What is going on?
Of that. And Google, the Trump administration is suing Google, which is about 152,000 times more dangerous, in my opinion.
I am so sad about. I love Google, and I'm just a little sad.
This is in the Seattle Times. How Google Monopoly Search Hurts You. Try these searches. This is by Jeffrey Fowler. Let's Google together. Open a browser and search for T-shirts. I'll wait. First thing you see is search result, and I'm not talking about stuff labeled as ads or maps on my screen, is the actual result is not the first, second, or third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, even eighth row. It's buried in row 9. Googling didn't used to require so much scrolling on searches. It's like, where's Waldo for information? Without us even realizing it, the internet's most widely used website has been getting worse. Too many queries. Google is more interested in making search lucrative than a better product for us, i.e., putting Google's in money's pocket on that is what they're doing. Is there one reason it gets away with it, according to a recent congressional investigation? Google is so darn big, and implementing antitrust lawsuit from the U.S. Justice Department is expected to make a similar point. How does Google alleged monopoly hurt you? Today, 88% of all searches happen on Google. We're going to stop right there.
88%?
Yes. Go to start page, what is it, go.go or duckduckgo or whatever, or one of the other alternative search pages. Stop using, and it's hard to do, instead of saying blanket, that G word, say go to start page or duckduckgo or whatever, instead of giving them the business, because
my entire house is ran off that.
You're going to find out why.
We'll even have lights where I say, hey, turn off my lights, and it does it for me. I gotta stop that?
In part because contracts make it the default on computers and phones, but whether Google is actually fetching you good information can be hard to see. First, Googling is easy and free, which blinds everyone a bit. Second, we don't have a great alternative for broad web-based services. Well, yes, we do. We have Start Page, DuckDuckGo.
What about Bing?
Bing, no. Bing is out. Over the last 2 decades, Google has made that. I want to get to that. And boy, here we go. There's 2. Search T-shirts. This is search number 1. Google is literally a bad personal shopper. Here, side by side, are Google results T-shirts for the Wayback Machine in 2000, 2013, alongside what you see in 2020. The desktop web results, yours may differ depending on your location, the time of day, if you're using a smartphone. We all know Google has ads, but back when Google first won us over, it had fewer ads. They were generally marked with a colorful background. Today, my T-shirt result is buried under 4 ads, as well as 9 shopping results over on the right side. There's a giant map we'll talk with links. We'll talk about the proliferation of this kind of stuff in a moment. Relative to 2000 today, you have to scroll down 6 times as far down the page to get to the first real unpaid link to a outside website. That means, you know, at the bottom where you see page
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You gotta click.
You got to go to
6.
6 pages of, I think, what are they, 10 each? So down to 60 before you get a legit or somebody that isn't trying to sell you something that you really don't want or overpriced or want anything else on this thing. And it further goes on that. It says question number 2. Now, we're talking about elections, and the FBI was just on, just before we came on at a press conference saying our elections are good. Baloney. This is a search result. Question number 2. Question 1, Nevada. The search result won't actually find now it because it's so egregious, Google fixed it in September. Question 1. Is an initiative on the November ballot that would change how Nevada manages higher education. A few weeks ago, Elliot Anderson, a former state lawmaker who helped get a question 1 on the ballot, noticed that Googling question 1 Nevada generated a box at the top results that began, vote no on question 1. They're already skewing the election. Now we're going to play a video of that, and it goes on and on and on of that. And they've got a question number 3 that comes up on the deal, which is pediatricians in Arlington, Virginia, and shows you how you're doing the doctor. But I want to go back to this because we've all been, the big hot topic's been a lot on Nevada, on elections, election fraud, mail-in ballots. I know somebody that just got 2 ballots on the deal, and of that, yeah. I mean, in the FBI, I mean, there's no election fraud that's going on. How many people that are getting 2 or 3 year ballots?
And it's
dead
only
people?
because I got married.
Well, yeah.
12 years ago.
We're
11 years ago.
We're gonna go into that because the.
But how many women that have been married
are getting this?
And
we'll go into the reason. That's probably a topic. Maybe we'll go for that tomorrow. Maybe you'll bring in some of the evidence on this, and we'll go. I can tell you, and I'm going to defy anybody to do it. I'll tell you why. But no, question 1. So this is earlier, I think, this year. Senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, is head of the whatever committee that does the voting and stuff. And he had Dr. Robert Epstein, which is a Democrat, left-winger of that. And here's what he had to say on the issue.
There are 15 million votes on the line that can be shifted without people's knowledge and without leaving a paper trail for authorities to trace.
Now you described the Go Vote reminder, and you said it wasn't a public service announcement, but rather manipulation. Can you explain how? I'm not sure everyone followed the details of that.
Well, sure. If on Election Day in 2016, if Mark Zuckerberg, for example, had chosen to send out a Go Vote reminder, say just to Democrats, and no one would have known if he had done this, that would have given that day an additional at least 450,000 votes to Democrats. And we know this without doubt because of Facebook's own published data, because they did an experiment that they didn't tell anyone about during the 2010 election. They published it in 2012. It had 60 million Facebook users involved. They sent out a Go Vote reminder, and they got something like 360,000 more people to get off their sofas and go vote who otherwise would have.
So there you go. Back in 2010, when Facebook only had 60 million, they were able to influence the election by putting a part of that to Democrats, left-wingers, or whatever they were supporting at the time. Look at how big they are now. 2 billion or 3 billion people are on Facebook of that. Or just take the percentage of the United States. Probably over half of the United States conservatively is on Facebook.
But I feel like no matter what platform is out there, they're always going to side with somebody.
But
and
look
act
at
that way.
this.
Not that it's okay, but I mean, are you surprised? I'm
Now,
not.
look at this. Back to the Seattle Times article in 2020, and they went to the 2016. Look how they were manipulating, and it was Hillary Clinton and Biden and all that, and Obama that were saying, "Oh, the Russians are influencing the election of Trump." No, they were working with Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden. The evidence is clear. It's been coming out like crazy. Again, like this. Question 1 in Nevada. When you Google it, when you were Googling it in September and you Googled it, the first thing that came up was no on Proposition 1, which was to get more money, I believe, into higher education and all this other stuff. Like we've been getting hosed over the workbench for 87,000 million years by public employees, teachers' unions, those egregious agencies, and that not them, it is the people. Unions are only representing people. Unions are not unions cannot think, unions cannot do anything. People can. This is like Weapons Wednesday. A gun cannot kill anybody. It has to have a human being.
Ooh, I like that one.
A human being has to use it. It's like a union. A union, it is not the teachers' unions, it is the teachers.
Ooh, see, now you're getting the point across in a good way. I'm proud of you.
Well, let's just flash.
That spoke volume. Wow.
And this is what we're talking about. This is what Dr. Robert Epstein was testifying into Congress. And he said, they're doing this, they have done it, and if you don't do something about it, you're going to pay. You are living in a third world banana republic, Mussolini, Hitler, Stalin, Hugo Chavez environment if you let this stuff go. If you vote for Joe Biden, if you support Gavin Newsom, if you support any of these ding-dongs, Jose Medina, Estienne Gutierrez, or whomever in this area that are backing the same stuff, and if they don't come out against it, I don't see the city of Moreno Valley public meetings opened up. Estienne, you can do that like that. Marshall Locke, head of the MVSUSD, you can open up the meetings like that. Quit sitting on your hands. Quit playing their game like Karen Spiegel, the supervisor in the 2nd District at Riverside County said.
Awesome.
Quit playing their game. Quit playing staff's game. Quit being manipulated by your superintendents, your city managers, your CEOs. Their agenda is to put more money in their pocket. They could care less about anything else. But it's a false narrative of that. Again, unions unions cannot speak, unions cannot do anything,
Jesse.
people can. And that's
I forgot
the
what you
bottom
look
line.
like. Turn off the camera. Whatever.
Of that. On top of that, I went.
But to touch on that really quick, if people allow these platforms to trick their mind and not do the research, this is where we need to really press on people. Go do your research. Figure out what all these propositions are. Think before you vote. Don't let Facebook, Google, or any other major thing dictate where you vote. And listen to NEwswire, because some people around here really know what they're talking about. Hey, whatever. I got to throw a plug of myself somewhere.
Well, there you go. No,
Yeah.
you're actually.
I know,
You,
right?
You've grown a lot
I
in the
hate
last
it.
year.
Sucks. My rock was so comfy. I was so freaking happy.
You know, didn't that kind of chap your ass when you
It
on
really
that hot
did
route?
because I was freaking happy. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
But yeah, your ass is
Now
smoother.
I got trust issues. I don't believe anything that anybody says, especially the government.
But there you go.
Damn it.
Of that, but no, it is on that that whole enchilada of what's going on. But no, it is. Let's deal with the facts as the way they are.
Right.
Let's quit with trying to blame or sugarcoat or do the sissy movement of that. Knock it off. Let's deal with
Go
reality.
build some bike ramps.
Yes.
And don't drive with your mask on. And don't lay in bed with a condom on either. It's weird.
Oh my God.
Weird.
Yeah, I will say that. Don't do a tubing
And when
with
you're
it
on
either.
Zoom,
Yeah,
make
don't
sure
do
your
a
camera's
tubing
off
while
if
you're on
gonna...
Zoom. We'll have to get to that when we come back
We
on
do, because I want to hear what's going on with
30 seconds.
of that. No, it is in the we got to get a see if you can find. We'll see if we can find a picture of tubing because
Oh, you want me to send the one in I used yesterday?
yes, find that one.
Free phone app today. IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday at 5:30 on the Money Bet. 1490 KMT, in case you were going to doze off on their
Definitely
broadcasting
not now.
all over the Inland Empire on that. Joining us of all our video viewers that start live at 5 on Twitch, on IE Newswire on Facebook, and
On YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share us to your world.
there you go. Lots of stuff we
Teach you.
covered on that.
Educate you.
Why Google is dangerous to that, and why that and the Trump antitrust suit, I hope, is very successful on that. Knocking on that, we had Kevin Kiley on yesterday previewing the trial where he's suing him and Assemblyman James Gallagher are suing Gavin Newsome on the executive orders under this dictatorial powers he's using, or he's turning the executive orders into, and as Kevin Kiley, James Gallagher, and a lot of us believe, are unconstitutional. Not only just unconstitutional, they're just flat wrong. You know, no one person should have that much unilateral authority and power unless you want to live under a Mussolini, Hitler, Hugo Chavez type of regime. And that's what Gavin Newsom's doing. So we got an update. Give me 4, please. That Kevin Kiley, they had the trial today. He said the trial is just concluded this afternoon around 2 o'clock our time. He said, and the judge will issue a ruling in very short order. Melissa Melendez, and I think it is. I think the order is supposed to come out on Friday, so that's something by Friday. The judge will have his opinion on it, so we'll be on pins and needles of that. Hopefully, as we do, we'll get option 3 or 4, which will turn Gavin Newsom's world upside down. And all you little girlies that love him, might be in for a big surprise. I had to throw that in.
But what was option 3 and 4 again, just in case anyone missed it?
Basically that the judge 3, I think, was just that he would overturn his orders. 4 would be he would declare them unconstitutional, which would really be probably unlikely, but if he does, I mean, happy days are here again. Maybe that will be the light at the end of the tunnel and turn 2020 around and maybe have us a brighter future coming in for 2024. But we'll be waiting for that. Hopefully by Friday we'll have
What do you mean 2024?
2021. Did I say 2024?
Yeah, you did.
Well, hey,
I was like, what?
You're paying attention. I can see
I usually
that.
try to when I'm typing, but geez, don't do that to me, man.
On top of that, we did that. And do we have the Tubin one up? Because, we went through the Tubin story, which broke, the
picture?
other day on that.
Just
yeah.
the picture, right?
Yeah, give me the picture. Yes, Master B. Now, I think pretty much everybody's known Jeffrey Toobin, CNN legal analyst, I think for the New Yorker magazine, been a long-time liberal ding-dong of that on that, was caught Monday on a Zoom meeting masturbating on the camera before that on there. So now, whenever you want to say, beat the meat, choke the chicken, masturbate, anyway, now the new lexicon is doing the Toobin. How would you like to have your name associated with that? I mean, of all the embarrassing anything going on of things of that, how would you like your name to be associated
How
master.
embarrassing.
Yes, and to know forever the lexicon.
But then if his wife ever wants to get down, at least the name's easy to remember. I don't know. That didn't really make any sense.
Or the wife wants to watch that.
I'm getting a little let's stop that conversation. Anyway.
Yes, because we have our longtime guest who we've had on for many, many, many years on that. She's the editorial writer for the Press Enterprise, San Bernardino Sun, Inland Daily Bulletin, and Redlands Daily Facts, but more importantly, especially as election season's coming up, Vice President of the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, Susan Shelley. Welcome to iNewswire with Stephanie and Roy.
Thank you, Roy. Great to be with you.
Hey.
Of that, want to touch on it of that because before we get to your column on Trump's re-election chances or something, FBI just had a press conference just before we went on about an hour ago saying, oh, the election integrity is good. We're not going to tolerate any foreign interference, blah, 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 blah. This does not... First, it's the James Comey FBI that is totally discredited on top of everything. Now, Trump was in a rally across the board on this, and I just want to play, if I can find it here, a small clip of that, if we've got it. Let me see where I can find the clip. I don't know if maybe we lost it on the
Right there.
on the deal.
Yep.
Yes, this is Trump talking about the election of that on that. Go ahead and roll it while we're.
Even though he refused to support Biden, I mean, he'd never, and then even after Biden sort of semi-won, he wouldn't do it. It took forever. But now he's campaigning for him. And somebody said, sir, maybe this isn't good. What's wrong? President Obama's campaigning for Sleepy Joe Biden. And I said, that's good news or bad news? Tell me, are you saying it's good or it's bad? Well, I guess it's bad. No, it's good. There was nobody that campaigned harder for crooked Hillary Clinton than Obama, right? He was all over the place.
So I just wanted to go with that because the lexicon with the deal was, the Russians were trying to get Trump elected. They're doing the election 2016. When up until, yesterday, the evidence has been overwhelmingly that the FBI or Hillary Clinton, the Obama administration, and everybody else were working with the Russians to win the election for Hillary Clinton in 2016, but they're still doing this narrative of that. Again, you've been really following this whole election integrity, FBI, Russian influence stuff. The FBI saying our election, the election integrity is good. There's going to be no fraud. We're not going to tolerate any foreign influence. Does not give me the warm and fuzzies from our current FBI. What do you say, Susan Shelley?
I think you're exactly right. The issue here is they got into the voter registration files. And they were sending mail, whoever it was in Iran, whoever it was in Russia, whatever their motive, they got into our voter registration files. We really need to know how that happened, which states were affected, whether they downloaded all the information, whether they were able to get in there and change any of the information. We need to know if our voter registration files are secure. That's really important, particularly now in places like California where we're mailing a ballot to every registered voter, and we don't even know how many of them have been tampered with. We really need to find this out. We need the details on which states and what was compromised.
Exactly. I mean, again, the FBI is coming out and saying yes. Or, I mean, if there is a discredited agency in our federal government that has probably got even less credibility right now than the DMVs in local areas or whatever of government agencies, it's got to be the FBI right now. Who would believe anything coming out of the mouths of the FBI right now?
I agree with you. And the elections, it's important to remember that there are no federal elections in the United States. They're all state elections. We have state elections in which we elect representatives to federal office, but we have state-run elections. And the Homeland Security Department can't just jump in and tell California or Florida, we're going to look at your systems and tell you how to do it. They can't do that without permission from the state. And so far, the states have not been too anxious to give permission to the federal government to come in and look at what they're doing. So we really need to talk to the Secretary of State of California and find out, was the California voter database, because it is all online now, it's called Socail, we need to find out if that was compromised. And if we go to vote at a vote center and we get signed in on that electronic poll book and it says, oh, you're not registered, we need to know if that's because of foreign interference or just plain old California incompetence in technology, which is probably the way to bet.
Yeah, how many of our computers, I think, with the DMV and other agents, CARB, are running on 30-year-old technology on our computers and everything, and I know Riverside County, and they probably straightened it up a little bit, but we had a big issue out here about 10 years ago, and I mean we were just slightly behind Cook County, Illinois, from the famous Chicago area, of being being the most corrupt election system in the United States. So again, all the stuff that has went on this stuff across the board, and now with this whole mail-in ballot thing, and 97, they must have. There's 40 million people in California. We probably should do a public records request of how many actual ballots were mailed out versus the registered voters in that. I'm going to say it's going to be 50 to 100% higher, the amount of ballots they have mailed out versus the registered voters.
But why would they mail out more? I don't get that.
You ought to know.
Well, I think we also need to know how many ballots were returned as undeliverable by the post office and what these counties are doing with those. Are they taking those people off? Are they just putting those ballots to the side? Are those ballots available for someone to pick up and vote and slip into the trays if they have evil intentions inside the county election offices? I mean, just hypothetically, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but hypothetically, there isn't as much security as you would hope for inside some of these county offices when it comes to the ballots once they're out of the envelope. So we have there are a lot of vulnerabilities in our system. And that's not to say that the elections are unreliable, but there are a lot of vulnerabilities. And it's possible to do voter impersonation because we don't have voter ID. So it's possible to walk into a vote center anywhere in the county when you have this system of, like we do in LA. You can go to any of the vote centers wherever you live. You don't have to go to a precinct that's close to your house. You can go anywhere in the county. I'm personally going to vote at the Magic Castle because this club, this very famous magician's club, is going to be a vote center. And if my ballot is going to disappear, I want it to be a professional job. I don't want any of this amateur nonsense.
Hey, yeah, that's a great.
Awesome.
That's a great analogy of that. Of what, yeah, and that's about as big a joke as they're making out of our voting system right now on the docket. But I want to get into that because we played the Trump clip of that. He's in I think North Carolina today is where we played the clip of that, where he was on a couple hours ago, where he was talking about the stuff like that. But what your column this week is a look at President Trump's chances for re-election, Susan Shelley.
Yes. Well, I think he's got a really good chance for re-election. I don't doubt it for a minute. But what's interesting is there are two mathematical models created by professors, one in Stony Brook University in New York and one in American University in Washington, D.C. And going back to the 1980s, they have been accurately predicting nearly every presidential election, regardless of what they personally think should happen, and regardless of what the public opinion polls show. They have mathematical models which are very different, and both of them in 2016 predicted the Trump victory when everyone else was predicting the Hillary Clinton presidency. So I looked up what they were predicting this year. Now, the one from Stony Brook University is based on primary strengths. So how strong was the relative strength of each of these candidates when they were in the New Hampshire primary and the early primaries? And this professor's model says Trump will win in a landslide this year. reason being that he did, for instance, in the New Hampshire primary, he had 85% of the vote, and a candidate challenging him, Bill Weld, could barely get to 10%. So he was very strong, whereas Joe Biden ran in New Hampshire and got only 8.4% of the vote in that primary. So on the relative strength of these candidates in their primaries, this professor, whose name is Helmut Norpoth, Norpoth, he predicts a Trump landslide. And the other system is called the 13 Keys. This was developed in the early 1980s by this professor, whose name is Alan Lichtman, together with a Russian geophysicist who was studying how to predict earthquakes. And the concept was, what if we applied earthquake prediction techniques to politics? The idea being that it doesn't matter so much what's on the surface. What matters is the stability or the upheaval in the environment underneath the surface. And so they teased out the stability question with 13 questions that are true-false. And if 6 of them turn false, then the incumbent party in the White House loses. And according to Professor Lichtman, last time Trump was going to win, and of course we know he did. This time Professor Lichtman said, nope, he's going to lose. 6 of the keys have turned against him. So I dug into it a little bit to see why he thought that. And he says that the economy is turned against the president, but that was in August when he said that, and so I'm not sure with the pandemic that that's correct. The numbers may have improved. But what really got me was, one of the keys was, is the incumbent president, the incumbent party's candidate, who in this case is the president, a charismatic figure? Does he have charisma? And Professor Lichtman said, no, Donald Trump does not have charisma.
Stop right there. No, that
Exactly.
he couldn't. He could not. I have said this, and I say this hands down. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, 45th president. No matter if you like him or don't, he is hands down the most entertaining
Right.
president
He
we have
totally
ever
is.
had.
Absolutely. I mean, Elvis Presley didn't draw crowds like this. And to say he doesn't have charisma, and to me the model failed at that, because Professor Lichtman said there are 6 keys that have turned false, and that was one of them. Does the president have charisma? And he said that is false. And I think that's true, that he has charisma. And I also think the economic keys are probably better than they looked in August. So I'm not sure Professor Lichtman had that right. And then one of the questions was, is the incumbent party candidate tainted by scandal? And I think you really have to look at that and say, define tainted, because there were all these scandals and not one of them turned out to be real. And he survived the whole thing, including the impeachment, I think, unscathed. And, you know, I mean, you could look at it and you could say, oh, he's tainted by scandal, he was impeached. Or you could look at it and say, well, he survived impeachment because it was all nonsense.
Yeah, it's
Nonsense.
Yes, it is, and
Even I know that, and I don't know the politics.
yeah,
That
that's
says a lot.
yes, it does. That speaks volumes.
Hey,
when
let's not get carried away.
when it lights your radar screen up like that, then
wrong.
yes, exactly, and that. But I want to go back to because I did read this. I think it was the Stony Brook one, the one that predicted Trump winning big in this electoral college one, and
Yes.
if that one is right. And I looked at it, and they had the state of New York in the red. If the state, if that model is right, and Trump win, it doesn't have to win California, but if Trump wins New York State,
Yeah.
this country, the center, especially the radical Antifa rioting crowd of the left, is going to explode. I mean, that's going to blow their whole world paradigm apart. I mean, I think what was it? Only maybe Colorado and a couple in the Midwest. I mean, he just had them winning a few on each end of the coast, and that was and a couple in the Midwest. And I mean, the rest of it was red. But what struck me was and this is the question I want to ask you. What do you think the odds are that Trump will win the Electoral College votes of the state of New York?
I think the odds are better than I would have believed possible. And I first thought that might happen when I was watching some of the riots that were going on. And right in Manhattan, there was just spray paint and broken windows and all of this rioting after this trauma with the COVID lockdown and Times Square being empty and people leaving New York. And I thought, if this keeps up for 2 more months, he's going to carry New York. And I still think so. I think it's possible. People are pretty upset. This has not been a normal year, and these things do have a backlash. It doesn't go unnoticed when you have all of these Democratic governors and mayors taking away people's freedom month after month after month. I really feel strongly that the Republicans will do far better than the polls are showing. And I think these 2 models kind of indicate that might be true. The Stony Brook model, when they applied it to previous elections as they were developing it, it was accurate all the way back to the 1912 presidential election. Every single time. It predicted every presidential outcome from 1912 to the present, with 2 exceptions. One was the razor-close 1960 race between Kennedy and Nixon. It missed on that, and who knows, maybe it was right. And
Yes.
the other one was the Bush-Gore race in 2000. And once again, who knows, maybe they were right.
Yeah, that one went. Well, yeah, Nixon won the 60 race, whether you liked him or not. But you want to talk about election fraud? If it wasn't for Big Joe Kennedy running the election fraud with up there in Chicago, Jack Kennedy would have not been president because he didn't win that race legitimately, no matter what you think of either one of them on that. So we have that election fraud on that, and it was maybe that's why Nixon won in '68. But I mean, probably. I wouldn't have done it, but I mean, probably to Nixon's credit, he didn't make a big issue of it in '60 because we see what happened with that when Gore made the issue of it in 2000, and then potentially what we have going on in 2020. The results of doing that are not going to be good on that, whatever. But time flies when you're having fun, but you got about a minute left. Or a couple minutes left. Just give them an update on No on 15 and tell them why they should join Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association.
Okay, well, you should vote no on 15 because we need every single vote, and also vote no on 19 and no on 21. Those are the 3 that affect your real estate, your property rights, the housing market. No on 15, 19, and 21. Very important. And the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association is the best, most influential taxpayer advocacy organization in California. And it's a member-supported organization. So we really need you to strengthen the voice of taxpayers in California. It's only $15 a year to join and be a member. You can get our emails anyway, and you can go to the website and get all the information. But be a member and support the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association because it is fighting for you, fighting for taxpayers in the legislature, fighting in the courts, fighting in the elections, working to strengthen the voice of taxpayers and get California back on track. The Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association is the best organization in California when it comes to representing normal people in this state. Go to hjta.org, hjta.org, and all the information is there on how to join.
Thanks, Susan. We appreciate you coming on and your insights. Roy's pointing at me. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Thanks. We appreciate you being on.
There you go. Yes, I was telling you to intro her out.
Oh,
that's why I said. That's why I'm pointing to you.
That's sign language today.
Yes, got to get over that. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for being on, Susan.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Of that, no, it's crazy what's going on the docket here of all the stuff we're going on from the
It really is. And Susan and everybody we have on, they always point you in a good direction. What are we supposed to say yes to, though?
Everything's a no yes on 20 and 22.
Oh, okay.
It's really easy. Yes on 20, that's to reform the bad parts of 47, 57, which have been letting the criminals out. And 22, at least it lets the Uber drivers and Lyft drivers and stuff be independent contractors. So if they're not, it would basically be the end of the Uber Lyft system.
The what?
Of that. Uber, whatever. What is it? I know I don't say it right.
I'm not going to correct you.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm not going to.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
Well, I'm trying to pull it up. But you got to keep talking. I wasn't ready.
No, well, you got one up there on the.
I know, but I was trying to pull up. Tomorrow we're going to have Lindsay Sweeney from Discovery Church. She's a director and outreach of small groups. And her pastor of student ministries is going to be joining her as well to talk about a fun event you can go to on Friday, October 30th between 6 and 9 for your little kids to go and kind of do like a little trunk or treat, but you're going to keep them in the car and just kind of drive it.
And what is the event?
The Spooktacular Drive-Thru.
There you go.
You happy?
Yes.
All right. At Discovery Church. I think it'll be a lot of fun, especially for the little ones to go and just be part of it. Have somewhat of a kind of a...
And don't wear a mask.
Unless it's a scary one.
Yes. Don't wear a stupid mask under your regular mask.
Anyways, going on. We're keeping it positive at the end of the show, damn it. Go join the Farmers Market Thursday, October 29th at 11 a.m. They're going to be doing a Halloween costume contest.
Cool.
For all ages, so me and Roy can partake in it. They're also going to have candy and stuff they're going to give out.
That's not this Thursday. It's next Thursday, right? On the.
Did I say this Thursday?
Well, I didn't remember, but
October 29th.
So
next Thursday.
Yeah, not
and that's
tomorrow.
going to be next Friday. But tomorrow, we're going to have Lindsay Sweeney from Discovery Church.
There you go. Yes, we'll have
previewing
that.
the event coming up that following Friday.
There you go.
That way, parents, because sometimes I feel like we get the events out kind of short notice. And that way, parents, we'll keep reminding you.
There you go. Yeah,
on the calendars.
we're giving you the early warning sign
We
on the 2 events you can possibly attend.
The only 2 Halloween events I've been able to find.
You're right. That's what I mean. I mean, they're a whole. I think we should start outlaw Halloween in 2020. Everybody should just defy the.
Let's do it. I'm going trick or treating. I need who's coming with me?
Yeah, actually, what we should do: no mask, no any kind of mask. Just show up like we are. We're gonna do outlaw 2020 Halloween. Well, you can dress up, but no masks, or maybe maybe just do face painting or something.
That'd be cool.
Yes, of that. Paint your face as the zombie coming out of the grave.
Can I be a fairy?
And with that, we're gone.
Really, I want to be a fairy, though.
The proceeding was a paid